It's the Go Mike Podcast, where the mic is go, and this is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and today we got my favorite YouTuber again, YouTube sensation, Auston Holleman. All right, now Auston Holleman went on a panel with four guys. One of the guy name is his channel name is Kings and Dreams. The other guy name is Reese Black. The other guy name is Lucario and Auston Holleman. All right, so they were all on a panel together, all four of them last night, and there was a clip on there that I felt was interesting because I'm unfortunately being labeled a hater of the passport bros, and I don't understand why people are trying to label me a hater of the passport bros when I'm just pointing out the inconsistencies in the leader of the passport bros rhetoric. All right, so my first video about Auston Holleman, and I'm going to go ahead and link it right here. I talk about how I made a comment on one of his pages, on one of his videos about paying for escorts. And he replied that, the escorts were about $200. And I made a video about it. And the only reason why I made a video about it is because Auston Holleman always talks about how trash American women are, about how it's imperative that you drop what you're doing. Go to the post office and get your passport. Drop what you're doing. Fly 5,000 miles outside of the U.S. and start dating overseas because the women are that much better than American women. Meanwhile, he's paying for pussy, and that's the thing. People keep in my comments, they keep getting caught up on saying, why are you worried about if he's paying for pussy or not? And they are just missing the whole point of what I'm saying. I'm not an advocate for paying for pussy at all. I believe pussy is free. But if you're going to do it, do whatever you please. If you're going to pay for prostitutes to have a good time with you, go ahead and do it. So be it. Let that be your life. But don't be coming here making videos shitting on American women, talking about how trash American women are and they don't do this and they don't do that. This guy literally was closed-minded the whole time on this panel. Just really anything the guys were saying, it would just bounce off of him because he already had his mind made up. And I remember one point Austin made, he was like, if you talk to American women, how many American women can cook? They can't even cook for themselves, and it's like, you trying to measure whether she's a good woman, whether or not she knows how to cook or not, which that is a extreme plus that a woman knows how to cook. But you got to understand, look at the times we're in. We're in a fast food time. And if the females overseas they know how to cook, it's because possibly they don't have the money to eat out all the time, because you are going to these poor countries where, the dollar is multiplied by a whole lot, and they have to make food for themselves because they have to eat. Meanwhile, down here, all you gotta do is just order something. People will bring it to your door. So, not saying that they don't have that there, but it's more common here. So yeah, we do have a fast food culture. A lot of people, they're on the go. But he made that point. But I have a point too. It's like, how many of you men, since you wanna point out whether cooking is the deciding factor whether you're a good woman or not, how many of you dudes know how to change your own oil in your car? It's the same concept. The same concept. Dudes back in the day, they used to change their own oil. Me, I know how to change my own oil in my car. So how many of you men can say that you can change the oil in your car? Can you change the oil in your car, Auston Holleman? No. What are you going to do? You're going to go somewhere to get it done, right? Even though that's a manly thing to do, is to change your own oil, right? And it's the same thing with cooking with women, all right? Like, you know, but if you're running into a lot of females that don't know how to cook, even though that I think that is kind of false, you know, the alternative is to go to a place that cooks for you. Just like when you don't know how to change your own oil in your car, you're going to go to a place to change the oil for you, right? But that's not why we're here. We are talking about, you know, how the passport bros trying to act like paying for pussy is playa. So let me pull up the clip. Boom. Here's the clip. And let's get into it. And that's exactly what these guys are. These passport bros. If you're flying out of the country just for women, it's called sex tourism. You know, you're not trying to explore the world. You're not trying to just learn, you know, you're not trying to do nothing. You're literally flying 5,000 miles out for low hanging fruit. That's practically what you're doing. But let's continue. And a lot of people say that. They say, it's not tricky because you're going to pay for pussy regardless. You're going to pay some type of way. And I think that is malarkey. Like, a lot of men really believe that paying for a date is paying for pussy, when that is not the case. A lot of people do not just take a woman out on a date. Maybe a lot of people do, but you're not supposed to take a woman out on a date thinking that that meal alone is going to get you some pussy. Now, if that meal alone gets you some pussy, you might be getting some trash pussy. I'm just saying, if a $60 meal is all she want, you know what I'm saying, for you to get some, then that's kind of cheap. But if you're going to take a woman out to get to know her, to try to figure out whether or not you really want to smash her. And I think that is part of the motive for a lot of people. Because for me, when I was single, if I took a female out, I was taking her out to try to understand who she was. I wasn't taking her out because I was expecting some pussy out of it later. That is weird. That is not how you're supposed to look at a date. A date is not a segue into pussy. The date is the time where you need to get to know this person, pick her brain, and figure out if it is somebody that you want to deal with. But let's continue. See, he's keeping it real. Whether or not I agree with him doing that, he's keeping it real. He's being honest about what he's doing. He's saying, yeah, when I was down there, I was tricking, you know? These new passport bros, they're trying to act like they're playa because they're, you know, I don't get it, but let's go. Paying for pussy is not player at all. Anybody who think that paying for pussy is any type of player is misinformed and misguided. But let's go. And that's fair. And that's fair to say. If you're gonna do what you do, just go ahead and do what you do. Don't try to make it seem like what you're doing is something a little different from what it is, because all you're going to do is make yourself look like a fool. But I got one more clip for us to watch. Here it is. Now let's get into it. Does a man have game if he pays for pussy? There's an obvious answer to that. There's an obvious answer to that. No, he does not have game if he's paying for pussy. That's an obvious no. But let's go. You see how he's trying to position himself to move the goalpost? It's like these words are what they are. If tricking is paying for pussy, it is what it is. If that's what you choose to do, then that is what it is. You can't change it from what it is. Tricking is paying for pussy. Whether or not that's a derogatory term or not, I think the way people take it is derogatory. It don't necessarily have to be a derogatory term, but if you're getting offended by it, then you probably need to take a good look at yourself and figure why you feel offended about something that you are doing. But let me rewind it just a little bit. Point blank, period. You hear what the guy Reese Black said? He said, if you're paying for the pussy, it makes you a trick. It is what it is. I don't care if you did it once, if you did it twice, if you do it 2 times a year, 3 times a year. Paying for pussy is tricking. And if you feel like that you have to do that, or you probably don't have to do that, but if you made the choice to do that, by default, you are in fact a trick. But let's go. And that's right. You do what you do. Just like the guy Lucario said. He said, when he was down there, he was tricking. And he understands that what he was doing was tricking. He didn't feel no type of way because that term has a negative connotation. No, he knows what he was doing was tricking and he owned it. But let's go. Pay attention to this part, because this part is very, very important, and it is directed at Auston Holleman for sure, because I heard him say what this guy is about to say. But let's go. Yeah, see, he said, of course, we're not going to say any names because, and just think about who that is. Think about who does that. And you notice when the Reese guy was speaking about it, Austin Holleman started rubbing his head. He was guilty for doing that because Austin Holleman did that. Austin Holleman did a vlog when he was overseas showing a whole bunch of women, as if these were just regular women and they pulled them naturally. And that was actually the video that I made my comment on, where he admitted to me that he paid $200 for those girls. And he was frolicking these females all around his YouTube, making it and saying that American women are trash and these women are better, but he paid these women to be around him. It's like, these women, how are they better if you had to pay them to be around you? What makes them better? You know, and that's my whole point with Auston. People trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just hating on the passport bros. I don't want passport bros to go overseas and do what they want to do. No, there's nothing wrong with going overseas, doing whatever you want, even if it's tricking. Regardless whether I am a fan of tricking or not. And I am not. I don't think pussy should be paid for. I think pussy is free, you know. But if you're going to do that, do it. But do not come back to the States trashing women from the U.S., talking about, oh, they're so much worse. These women dating in America is so much worse. You guys need to stop dating in America. Fly 5,000 miles overseas to a whole nother country because dating is that much better. But meanwhile, he's paying for pussy. So how is dating better when you're paying for pussy? Paying for pussy is not the same as dating. If you get a lot of girls that you fucked and you paid for it, it's not the same as getting a lot of girls organically and just based off your personality, you know. But Auston want to come to his subscribers and act as if, you know, American women are that much bad, because American women are probably just not that into him. I hear a lot of people talk about how Auston is not a bad looking guy. Yeah, Auston probably is attractive to a lot of women until he opens his mouth. Because like we say, women know they're gonna fuck with you, you know, within a few seconds of just seeing you. They know whether they want to fuck you or not. And they probably be looking at him like, oh, I'll fuck you, until he opens his mouth. And when he opens his mouth, it knocks him clean out the pussy. You know, because you remember his earlier videos, he was talking about how he would get rejected here and there. He'll get a girl number, he'll text her and they won't reply, leave them on red or flake on them, you know, and that's the stuff that he was going through because he's who he is. But he's trying to make it seem like that it's all American women and all men has this same interaction with American women. It is just not true. You know, different strokes for different folks. Females will only get over what they can get over on who they can get over on. They're not going to get over on a guy that they know better, you know? So if Auston is mad that, you know, American women is not giving him the play that he desires, he needs to look within himself and try to understand why he's getting this type of reaction, because it's not everybody. And I know that there is a lot of men that have this problem, but that does not mean that it's everybody. You got all these men complaining about how women are this and women are that, but on the flip side, you got women complaining about men is this and that, and it poses the question, who's really the problem? We are complaining about each other with the same exact argument. So it's like, who's really the problem? Right? But I'm not going to spend too much more time on this because I just think it's hilarious how people want to label me a hater of the passport bros just because I'm pointing out these inconsistencies in this Auston guy's talking points, you know? But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. It's the Gold Mike Podcast, where the mic is gold, and this is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and I'm out.